Hi everybody, this is Vonkai922. Part 1, final episode of Part 1, Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. Unbelievable. 5 out of 5, I shit you not, I'm dead serious. This close, I almost cried. Final part of the episode, I almost cried at. You know, with Jonathan, he's more or less dead. And I'm like, oh, I was about to cry. It was like really fucking emotional. Really fucking emotional episode. Basically, this is the events from when the ending of the battle with Dio up to when Erina is leaving the ship after it more or less explodes. And and she has this baby in the coffin going to America, going to New York. And obviously what happened was that Dio, he cut off his own head, and his head was still living, and that motherfucking Chinaman guy, Chang Wang, shows up, he takes it. So that leads up to what happens later on when Jonathan, he marries Erina, going on a honeymoon. We see, Speedwag coming in and seeing them off. And he's like, Justa, the whole bit. And these people, these guys are carrying this coffin. This coffin onto the ship. And this guy hears these sounds from the coffin. Obviously in that coffin is Dio. Dio's head. And there were some subtle moments with Erina crying, saying with Jonathan, and she's happy, and she says something like, "Oh, now we could be happy forever," so and so forth. And they're having dinner, and then Jonathan sees him. Sees Chang Wang, and he confronts him, and sure enough, we see Dio. And it's just the small talk going back and forth. Oh man, it was a really epic confrontation because it pretty much captured what the manga had. This final part was more or less captured. Then we have the fight, and Dio does the laser eye, my laser eye, shooting at Jonathan, and what ends on happening is he punctures his throat, but doesn't totally, And Erina shows up, and it's just this epic confrontation. And even though Jonathan, he can barely speak and could barely use any techniques because he can't breathe very well, he's still able to fight. Because this episode was called The Final Ripple. So what ends on happening is he uses a final ripple, not on Dio, on Wang. And when he does, what I found was pretty interesting. He does it, and he's able to disable Wang's body as a zombie and make his body do what he wants, which I found very interesting. Jonathan actually took away the control of Wang's body from Dio. And then we had all the zombies coming in and shit, and we see this unbelievable scene with Erina and Jonathan, and Jonathan's telling her, she kisses him, and she wants to die with him by his side, and she points to the child and the baby and the mother who's dead, and the child, and says, "Take that baby with you and live." That's pretty much what he's saying to her. And we had this epic thing with Dio, things coming out of his neck, of his severed head, and attacking Jonathan. And then there's this explosion and shit, because he used Wang's body to stop the Pistons. and these shards are coming out of Erina, and he just with his big huge back block and gets sharded at it. And it's just crazy scene. And then he just then this one epic thing where Dio tries to attack him again, and Jonathan just pulls out the things out of his back and stabs Dio. And there's an explosion, and then we see Erina slamming against the coffin with the baby in hand, and they go in there, and we have this. That part was sad. That was fucking sad. When Jonathan dies, man, that pissed me off. I'm like, I read the manga. I'd seen this. I read this part in the manga, but still, it pisses me off. It makes me sad. I almost cried. I literally almost cried. Kind of a interesting moment between Dio and Jonathan, because like Dio in this episode, I gotta give him props. Dio for the motherfucking win, because you know why? And you don't really see this in a lot of animes, a lot of mangas. The villain shows homage to the protagonist. That's what I felt. Dio, he respects Jonathan. He's like, I respect you. So he's gonna take his body. And he realizes that Jonathan died at that moment. He's basically Jonathan cradling, Dio's severed head as he dies, and they're in the burning ship. And that was just an epic fucking moment. Just, damn. Dio, motherfucking Dio, for the motherfucking win. And Jonathan. Now, like I said, the one thing I was a little confused about was the scene with Erina when she's in the coffin, leaving the burning ship. Because she says that, which I did not understand. She said that the life inside of her. Now, I didn't understand what that meant. Maybe you guys can fill me in on this. Maybe, Justin McWhirlpool, my good friend Devil Artemis. Because, at least from what I understand, she's not pregnant. Because it seems like she is. Because, that part just confused the hell out of me about that. And then this leads up to, at the end with the music, part 2. Which it seems like it's going to go down. It's definitely going down. 12 episodes, part 2, part 1, part 2. Wow, this is going to be awesome. Awesome. I got to get back to reading the manga and reading part 2 and getting into that. But this was just an epic conclusion to this epic part 1 of JoJo. Fantastic all the way. You feel sad for Jonathan. Jonathan, man, he went out like a, He went out like a boss. Jonathan and Dio went out like bosses in this final part. I thought it was an epic conclusion, done correctly. It was done well. This was done well. Well. I liked it. It was good. It was emotional, man. I almost cried. Manly tears, motherfuckers. Manly tears. I was this close to crying. Damn. But, Erina, that was emotional too. So a lot of emotions going through for the final part. Epic episode, epic finale for part 1. 5 out of 5. You guys have got to check this episode out. So yeah. Just epic all around. And then we're going to get into now New York JoJo. And that's going to be special. That's going to be special. So yeah. Epic episode. I just loved it. It was fantastic. So yeah, it was just fantastic. I just loved it. Loved the hell out of it. And I just thought Jonathan, both of them were bosses in this episode. They just were fantastic. I just loved how they did it. They did it perfectly. And Erina was done perfectly too. With her role in, she wanted to die by his side, and he tells her to leave. And you see her hair coming out and shit. That was... And it said that... It didn't even show you the date when he died, 18... February 18, the year was. Oh, man, that was awesome. Just awesome. Damn! JoJo! So yeah, good episode. I can't wait for next week's part 2. Oh man, part 2 is gonna be fucking awesome. Gotta start reading again. Gotta read the manga again. That's what I have to do. I have to start reading again. Part 2. I finished part 1. I gotta go into part 2 and start reading it. Jojo for the motherfucking win. Great episode. Great finale. Tell me what you guys think. Comments below. You know the story. Rate, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you guys think. And honestly, answer that question for me about Erina. I want to know because it seems like she's pregnant, but not. I'm a little confused about that. Maybe my good friend Devil Artemis, Justin from Whirlpool Inc., Luffy to Super Saiyan. Maybe you guys can fill me in on that because I'm a little confused about that. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. 5 out of 5. Awesome! Final Ripple. The final Ripple. Get hyped. It's Jojo. It's Jojo. Yeah. See you guys later. Dio Brando and Joe Jonathan for the motherfucking win. See you guys later.